So, ladies and gentlemen, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. so today we're gonna talk about something very unusual, which is probably one of its kind, which is sports psychology. So, what is sports psychology, and what it does have to do with chess as a sport and as a field? Now, we may tell me that sports psychology is simply a bullshit, a BS, but it's not. You already know what is psychology and you already know what is sports psychology. You may heard of sports psychology, but the use of this field, the use of this information, and what I gonna use, what I gonna take from this sports psychology is very beneficial for you as a player and as a person and as a professional. So we'll dive deeper and directly with no more details or with no more waste of time. There is this website called Very Well Mind. I'm not sponsored by Very Well Mind. I'm just searching in Google and I found that this is the best website. They're gonna give me the most accurate informations. And digital marketers will understand what I'm saying. If you search with precise words, you will see that they will suggest you some nice content that match exactly what you are looking for. So Very Well Mind was suggested. Here it is by Kendra Sherry, the author of Everything Psychology book. Okay, it is updated on February 28, 2023. Medically reviewed, is verified by Amy Moran LCS. Blah 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 blah. Let's go directly. So, sports psychology is simply a way of telling yourself as an athlete and as a person who have some objectives and some goals that he must orientate himself in order to excel at what he is doing. And if you see, for example, in football, this is the best example I could tell you because football is well known as a sport. You see Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. These two players have an elite mentality, especially Ronaldo. I'm a fan of Messi, but Ronaldo deserves to be the leader, deserves to be simply a leader of a team, a leader of a nation. He doesn't quit. He doesn't get upset when things doesn't go in his own way. Sometimes you may see him, raging, but that's in the pitch, on the pitch. He doesn't care personally about such failures because he already know that he gonna bounce back. He gonna simply come back and gonna win trophies. That's the elite mentality. He already knows that he is willing to do something. He is willing to make something, and he is willing to achieve something. So he doesn't care about other people's opinion. They are entitled to let it to themselves. He doesn't care about what people gonna say about him. He doesn't care about what people gonna tell him to do. He have his mind. He have his things, and he is simply willing to win. He have the eagerness to win. That's the elite mentality. To have something, to visualize something, and to stay and wait every single day to make some little progresses. 1%. That small 1% every single day, like an atomic habit, will make you much better than everybody else, than the average person. And there is some saying here that small-minded people talk about people, they gossip about people. The mid to normal people, they talk about events, what happened in this event, what happened in that event, and the smart people and the wise ones talk simply about ideas. So the mentality of Ronaldo or any other top player in his field, they talk simply about ideas and how they can improve themselves, how they can find some small improvements to simply outweigh any other person in their field, to be smarter, to be better, to be much stronger. Now, I will simply give a small, brief detail about sports psychology because I'm not going to tell you hours of content because I studied sports psychology, I did some research in sports psychology, and it is my field, simply. And psychologically, this website does cover at least 10% of the big content that one must understand and one must see in sports psychology. So just a brief look, it's like a summary with the history, with the type, with the usage, with the impact, with the techniques, careers, and frequently asked questions. In this website, it does cover only 10% of what should be really known in sports psychology. But it is very good to understand the first ideas. So we're gonna skip the parts of history. You can just look directly what is sports psychology and what does historically tell us about sports psychology, we're gonna go deeper and directly to types. But let's talk about this one. So sports psychology is the study of how psychological factors, external ones or internal ones, that you can control, that you can't control, influence sports, athletic performance, exercise, and physical activity. And for us chess players, mentality. Sports psychologists investigate. This is a job itself, a sports psychologist. It's very rare in our country. I may noticed one person in the Ma'arif city, in Ma'arif neighborhood. He have probably sports psychology. Well, I don't know the word in English. I wanna simply skip that. But he have it. He have it. And he simply is good at his job. Sports psychologist, it's a well-paid job, not in Morocco but in other countries who already know the benefits of sports psychology. So investigates how participating in sports can improve health and well-being. They also help athletes utilize psychology, their brain, to improve their athletic performance and mental wellness. Your mental well-being, how you feel when you play the game, how you feel when you are crushed. So as an example, a sports psychologist working with Michael Jordan, the best player, best basketball player, Shaquille O'Neal, and Kobe Bryant, helps these athletes perform better on the basketball court by teaching them psychological techniques. And we're gonna talk about psychological techniques on another video because there are so many ones, so many beautiful ones. There's, for example, visualization. There is self-talk. There is confidence. There is the will. There is the desire. There is the ambitions, etc., etc. So here there is being in the flow and getting in the zone. The zone simply means or simply indicates that usually there is three zones. There is the first zone, second zone, and third zone. One is very super concentrated, and we're gonna use some technical words in the neuroscience jargon. The brain waves. If you are on a gamma brain waves, which is speeding up to 100 hertz, you are super concentrated, super productive, and very working very hard. The second zone, concentrated but not that much. You may go, for example, alpha brain waves or sometimes beta brain waves. And the first zone, which is like like falling asleep, the theta, theta brainwave, or the delta brainwave, very low, but you may go like not doing something, just relaxing. So if you wanna be an athlete or a professional or something, you must be on a gamma brainwave, thinking very fast. And these things are impacted by some things that we already talked about, by some external and internal influencer factors such as sleep, lack of workout. So many things that can impact you and they can be very bad for you as a player. And people just judge you by how you play the moves. They don't know that you didn't sleep at all, that you have lack of sleep, that you have lack of good hormone releases such as oxytocin or endorphin or serotonin, and you have huge amounts of increase in dopamine. They don't know that. They just judge you by how you make the moves. That's why people lack the real information, the real knowledge. Sports psychology, quantum physics, neuroscience, psychology, body language, and religion, which is the most important. So many things are neglected by people. They just judge you by what they can see, by what they perceive, because you give them such images. You don't give them 100%. You only give them 10% or 50%. But the reality is that you don't even understand yourself 100%. So they don't know what they're talking about. They're just bullshitting you. So a sports psychologist doesn't just work with elite and professional athletes either. This type of professional also helps non-athletes and everyday exercisers learn how to enjoy sports and stick to an exercise program. So they utilize exercise and athletics to enhance people's life and mental well-being. This is the very most important one, the mental well-being. As a chess player, you must be mentally tough. You must be mentally tough to accept the loss and to fight back. To not be burned out, but to continue, to be motivated. And there is some myths about motivation. It's not motivation that keeps you going, but it's the journey towards something. If you only weigh the outcome, you can quit as as you are waiting for that outcome. But if you enjoy the journey, even if that outcome doesn't come, you enjoyed already the journey. So history, skip, blah 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 blah, type of sports psychology. So just as there is different types of psychologists, such as clinical ones, developmental ones, forensic ones, there are also different types of sports psychologists. So the educational sports psychologist, an educational sports psychologist uses psychological methods to help athletes improve sports performance, which is our main here. This includes teaching them how to use certain techniques. Imagery, visualization. This is very important. And visualization improves the mechanism of neuroscience. Some synapses, or synapses, it depends on how you use and how you spell the word, some neurological circuits are improved. They can be either improved or destroyed if you do imagery. It is very scary, this kind of examples that I'm showing to you right now. There is some study made about a prisoner who was training all day playing with golf, imagining that he is playing golf, and after he, played a real tournament, he got out of jail, he won the tournament. Why? Because he was dreaming, he was simply visualizing himself playing, so the mechanism in his mind, in his body, prepared themselves to match the frequency, to match the desire, to match what he was thinking about, to match the thoughts, the ideas, the desire that he had, and improve the way he was playing. And he compared to other people who trained every day physically, he outplayed them. It was better. By statistics, it was probably 55% compared to them 45%. I would definitely not know exactly the number, but it was much better. So mentally, you should actually pay attention to what you say, the words you say mentally. It is very vital and important. So clinical sports psychologists, exercise psychologists, we don't care about these things right now. So the uses, why we must use sports psychology as professionals, as chess players, as everything. So contemporary sports psychologist is a diverse field, and there are a number of different topics that are of special interest to sports psychologists. Here are a few areas of sports psychology and how they must be utilized. The intentional focus, very deep focus. So attentional focus involves the ability to tune out distractions. It is very important, such as crowd of screaming fans. Remember, you as a chess player, when you are distracted by people or doing some random bullshit, that impacts the brainwaves from gamma brainwave to delta or alpha. You can't see that, you won't see that, but if you go to a neuroscientist with his clinic and he puts some things plugged in here, non-invasive, but he just plug you here, you will notice and you will see that there is some decrease if you are really impacted by these crowds, by these noises. But if you train like a monk, like a guru, like a real Muslim, to not be, distracted by these things, you're gonna maintain the focus, you're gonna stay on the gamma brainwave. So the intentional focus. So common strategies that might be used for this purpose includes deep breathing, paying attention to bodily signals and sensations, body language. We're gonna deal with that in the next video. And mindfulness. Clear your mind and be focused. All of these can help athletes stay focused on the present moment. Mental toughness. This is about how you cope with losses. Bad, terrible losses. So mental toughness has become an area of increasing interest in sports psychology. The term refers to the psychological characteristics that are important for an athlete to reach optimal performance. If you don't do that, you won't have the mental toughness and you won't have the big performance. So I don't really care about what other people are doing. I don't care about their performance as long as I compare myself to myself yesterday. I don't care if they win thousands of billions of trophies. For me, I am strategically good. I am tactically good. I'm a good chess player. So I don't care about them. I don't care about how many years spent playing chess. For me, I made huge progress between, I would say, 2020 and 2023. I just started playing chess 2.5 years ago. So for me, I made a huge progress, alhamdulillah, compared to those people who already made 10, 15, 20, 1,000 years in chess. using sports psychology, neuroscience, quantum physics, body language, religion, and all of these areas and fields. Now, one should compare himself to himself. That's the tip. Don't compare yourself to other people. You're gonna be burned out, you're gonna be frustrated, having anxiety because they made something and you don't or you didn't. But you made a lot of things, beautiful things, that they can't even imagine. But you're not comparing yourself with what you did, you are comparing yourself with what they did. And that's the problem. Compare yourself with yourself yesterday. Don't compare yourself with other people's successes or achievements. This is one of the key areas of sports psychology and mentally toughness. Compare yourself to yourself. So, visualization and goal setting. Setting a goal, then visualizing each step needed to reach that goal can help mentally prepare the athlete for training or competition. Visualize. Improve the mechanism of your body so they can match the stress. They can cope with that stress. So when you go to the real competition, you're not feeling stressed. And I did this small experiment with a small player. I won't mention the name. I pretended that I made some terrible, mistakes so that she can feel happy. She can feel proud of herself that she is doing a beautiful game in front of her father. I wasn't actually intending to make that in front of her father, but he just showed up. And I had simply to make her feel that she is a good player. I had to encourage her, because nobody will do that. Psychologically, everybody gonna destroy you. If you don't do that by yourself, nobody gonna do that for you. I was a kid by myself and I knew some psychological things. I knew that I had to be supported psychologically, but no one did that. No one. Because we don't have the culture of sports psychology. We don't have the culture of helping each other psychologically. But I learned that. I used that. I simply did that with this little girl. And now she is feeling motivated. She's feeling very comfortable. And Alhamdulillah, she's good right now. Not just one girl, but two girls that I did that. And Alhamdulillah, that's good. I feel happy because I did that for them. Because if I was in her place, I would definitely need somebody to do that for me. Not making me feel that he drew the game with me or lost the game for me, but making me feel that I made the best possible continuation and the best possible effort to play the game. So I made her feel that she played very beautiful. Not me feeling or me pretending that I am giving you the victory just like that. No, making you feel that you are working for that. Motivation and team building. Some sports psychologists work with professional athletes and coaches to improve performance by increasing motivation. A major subject in sports psychology, the study of motivation looks at both extrinsic and intrinsic motivators. The intrinsic motivation is simply why you're doing the game, why you're playing the game, do you love the game? Very personal. The extrinsic simply awards money, fame, wealth, etc. Anxiety. So we're gonna stop the video right now. I won't continue because there's a lot of content. There is rehabilitation, there's impact of sports psychology, techniques, progressive relaxation, hypnosis, biofeedback. Biofeedback, it was used by AC Milan in the final Champions League. They used biofeedback to, it's like the neuroscience that we talked about earlier. You use how your brain moves, how your brain reacts with the brain waves, and you simply have the techniques to improve the brain waves so you can always stay on the gamma brain waves. Cognitive behavioral therapy, talking, changing some thoughts and behaviors. So we're gonna see all these. We're gonna see all these. So right now I'm gonna close the video. Probably we exceeded 30 minutes, and we're gonna simply talk about sports psychology in the next videos. This is the first video of this series of sports psychology. It's a very important domain, and one must understand sports psychology. So let's repeat and remake another video about this sports psychology. So far, I want to really make only 20 minutes in this video, not to be too long or too short. And in the next couple days, I'll make another video about sports psychology, continuing what we have in the Very Well Mind website. And again, I'm not sponsored by them. I wish to be sponsored by somebody, and I will if I want to. So that was it, and thank you very much. Goodbye. مع السلامة.